What is up, everybody? What is up? It is night 4 of Deathmatch Down Under, taking over Shooting the Shit Uncensored. You know how we're doing it. We're doing a live show every night at 9 p.m. this week. We ain't going to be missed. You guys need to tune in and check out exactly who I'm going to be having on, ladies and gentlemen. I am the host of Shooting the Shit Uncensored, the bald, the beard, the beautiful Piers Austin. And once again, I'm joined by another amazing guest, a guy who I actually believe is my pick. I'm going to be a little bit of a mark and a fanboy at the moment, and it's my pick to win the tournament to become the new DMDU heavyweight champion. There you go. I'm making it public. That's my pick. But guys, before I bring out my guest, Mr. Ritchie Taylor, I'm going to thank some sponsors up in this bitch that help us keep these lights on, because you know these strobe lights are fucking expensive. But first up is A-Rock Design. So A-Rock Designs is that company you always hear me raving about. You see them in all the wrestling Facebook groups, the wrestling pages, the Instagram pages. They make custom cups, hoodies, keychains, t-shirts, tumblers. They made me this custom CM Punk tumbler, which I've got on every single show. This thing is a fucking beast. Keeps my cold drinks cold, my hot drinks hot. Still haven't drank beer out of it. You know, it just seems a bit sacrilegious drinking beer out of a CM Punk cup. You know what I mean? But anyway, guys, I digress. My next sponsor that you all need to check out, all of you music fans, is Signal Studios. So if you're a musician, you need a place to rehearse, a place to jam, a place to relax and get those creative juices flowing. You will find no better and more relaxing rehearsal space than Signal Studios. They're an absolutely amazing company that cater to rehearsals, cater to recordings, mastering, whatever you need musically, these guys can do. If you're an independent professional wrestler and you need some new entrance music, something cool, something custom, something fly, something woke, something dope, whatever the kids are saying these days, then you need to go to Signal Studios. Hit up my boy Ricthie Tomasian and he will hook you up. But guys, you know, they work with amazing bands like the Cicadas that provide all the music for all of the shows here on the MWA Podcast Network. You know, so make sure that you check them out. And talking about MWA Podcast Network, guys, we have to make mention tomorrow at 9 a.m. Australian time, 7 p.m. USA Eastern. Alan Kwee Funk, former WCW and TNA star, his third episode on the MWA Podcast Network on his show Get Funked. He's going to be joined by none other than Goldilocks. Guys, he's had on, seriously, Chuck Palumbo was his first guest. Second guest was the Demon Dale Torborg. Now he's bringing on fucking Goldilocks. Man, he's bringing on some amazing people. Make sure you tune into that show live or catch the replay on YouTube. Also, the next day, Killing the Business with former ECW original, the Kingpin, Angel Medina. You know you want to tune in for that one, because you put a live mic in front of Angel, he's going to fucking shoot and go hard. And, bro, none of us can control him. We've had to wind him in a couple of times, and he just keeps going, bro. So you know you want to tune in to Killing the Business every Saturday at 10 a.m. Australian time. That's 8 p.m. USA Eastern time. And, guys, also, my last plug for the evening is to the Knights of the Gimmick Table. Guys, if you're a fan of tag team wrestling, you're a fan of indie wrestling, then you know exactly who the fuck the Dead Presidents are. They've been in the business for over 20 years. They've wrestled all over the world, and now they're on the MWA Podcast Network with their show, Knights of the Gimmick Table. So make sure you check Boogaloo and Lowrider's show out every Sunday night at 9 p.m. USA Eastern, Monday Australian time at 11 a.m. So check those shows out. Whew. Wow. Now I feel like I can get on with the show. I've got all that out. I've got all the excitement out. And now I can bring out Ritchie and we can have a great convo. Let's bring him out now. Ritchie, thanks for sitting by while we got all the formalities out of the way, brother.
No, all good, man. Thanks for the kind words at the start, brother.
Dude, no, I completely mean it, dude. Yeah, as we were saying backstage, I was just saying the first time I saw you wrestle was against Tommy Knight at the first DMDU show. And, dude, straight away, I was like, man, I dig this guy's style. Like, you know, that's the sort of style of wrestling that I really enjoy. And it gives a sense of realism to professional wrestling and intensity to it that very few can do at that level that you do it at.
Oh, thanks, man. That's too kind. That's too nice, brother. Yeah, no, I was trained by like Mike Burr when I first broke into the business. So he's very much that style. So I emulated that a lot. And at the time, it wasn't really that popular.
Mm.
So it's only really over the last maybe 5 years that I've gotten a little bit of traction for the style I work in. I've been able to work some pretty awesome places and really cool people.
I kind of get the feeling with your style, it's very similar to like a British strong style type of style. Have you been like, has that been something that's been a big inspiration to you, the British style of wrestling?
Yeah, for sure. Not so much their like striking ability per se, but more their technical chain wrestling, which I love.
Mm.
And that's a dying art, and I feel like chain wrestling needs to come back. People need to chain more, but yeah, I get a lot of my striking stuff like off the Japan style of wrestling, and Chris Hero,
Yeah.
of course, the ultimate.
Yeah, he was another one, dude. Like, I was going to mention like the similar sort of style of Hero with his sort of style of chain wrestling and even mixed with striking as well. Very intense. And I think you kind of see that in like more of like, if you talk mainstream, like a Pete Dunne who wrestles a very similar style. And that's why I thought like the British style from what I've seen from progress shows, but also Japanese as well. Like,
Yeah.
I can see both of those sort of styles meshing in there.
Yeah, for sure. It's like I don't watch a whole lot of wrestling anymore, so it's hard for me to say like where I get things from. Like
Yeah.
might watch the odd matches here or there, but like Misawa was a big influence on me. Chris Hero,
Mm.
just a lot of heavy hitters.
Do you not watch wrestling now? Kind of like why musicians don't really try and listen to a lot of different music because they don't want to be overly influenced. Like, is that part of the reason? It's like you don't want to do it because you don't want it to sort of subconsciously like you do repeating something that you've seen in the ring.
Yeah, that's got a little bit to do with it, and I just don't like to overload myself with wrestling. So like I try to have very few wrestling pages liked, like on my social medias and stuff. I just
Yeah,
don't want to be bombarded with wrestling 24/7 because I've just been, I've been in it a long time, and
yeah.
the older I get, the more I don't want it around all the time. So I just try and have breaks from it.
Yeah, and I think you probably have to have that. Otherwise, like the passion, when you do it for that long, and if like every single day your life is nothing but like eat, sleep, work, wrestling, it can burn you out big time. I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly, man. And that's what I was feeling, especially the last few years. So yeah, that's pretty much why I just don't watch too much anymore. And I'm hoping, when I retire, the love to watch it again comes back and I start watching more and more wrestling as a fan.
So, so you mentioned like you were sort of falling out of love with it a little bit, and it was becoming a little bit like and you were saying burning out a little bit from it. Was there ever any point that you thought, you know what, maybe retirement is it's time to sort of hang up the boots, or was it just more like I need to step back?
Yeah, I've had those thoughts. I think everyone goes through it at some stage. But then, it's always that one match that is amazing. You're like, yeah, this is the reason why I do it. This is awesome. And the passion sort of comes back. But yeah, when I started to feel more burnt out, it was more, yeah, I just have to take a step back from just all my social media platforms just being bombarded with wrestling all the time. I just mentally I couldn't handle it. And, there's just been a lot of shit going in the wrestling industry over the last few
Yeah.
years, so I was like, man, I just need to step back completely and just go and perform. And that's what I enjoy doing the most and just let everything else go.
Yeah, I mean, I completely get it, man, and I think it's probably you enjoy the time more when you're there in the moment doing it. Then I suppose if you're just sort of bombarding it in your life like nonstop, then it just becomes another match as opposed to something that you can really look forward to and have that build up for and that desire to go out there and just tear the fucking house down.
Yeah, dude, exactly right. I couldn't have said it any better. That bang on the money, dude.
Yeah. And, like I think, with the sort of way of doing it as well, like, you said you don't watch much at all. Do you watch any? And what, if you are, what sort of product are you watching?
Oh man, honestly, nah, I don't. I don't watch a lot anymore. If I want to get inspired for like an upcoming match or anything, I'll chuck on like Chris Hero on YouTube and just watch a
Mm,
few of his matches, or yeah, like I
yeah.
said before, Misawa, I'll just chuck on a few of his, or Eddie Kingston or something. But yeah, I'm not actually invested in any companies like watching them regularly at the moment.
Yeah, and I get it, man. I actually enjoyed, just getting independent wrestling TV, turning it on, and just find a random promotion and just sort of check it out. Because I think indie. Once you're an indie fan, like then you just like you want to try and find out different little things and see new different styles and different performers. I enjoy doing that than watching mainstream wrestling a lot of the time.
Yeah, exactly, man. Like I started watching independent wrestling when I was 13. It's a long time ago now. And I could never watch the Fed again or like any of those mainstream promotions really, except
What year was that when you got into it though? At 13.
2003.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So they're
Yeah.
like a lot of awesome indies around, like starting around then. And like I'd watch a little bit of TNA, the more mainstream stuff, but only for the X division because Daniels, AJ Styles, and Joe, they were amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't really watched the Fed since like properly since 2003.
You're not missing much.
Yeah, didn't think so.
But that's the thing. Like you said 2003, and that was a great year for the indies. And I think probably 2001 to 2000, probably five, that was like the peak of indie wrestling. Like that was like a massive boom. And then we saw it happen again, like around 2016, 17, 18, 19, COVID hit, and then it kind of just plateaued like everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, man. It was funny when I first started watching it. I remember it pretty clearly. It was like Ted Petty Invitational that IWA used to do. And I
Yeah.
remember watching Nick Mondo and Nate Webb wrestle. And I was like, these two are the best wrestlers I've ever seen. I didn't even know they did death matches. I just thought they were like awesome wrestlers. And then I see
They
them do this
fly.
crazy death match shit. I'm like, holy shit.
Well, dude, I became a huge CZW mark like back and like you remember? Did you see ever see XPW?
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
Yeah. So I found it like in the wrestling magazine. Like, how the fuck do I like? I actually was ringing up when like in 1999 when I was like 17. I'm like ringing up the number because like the internet wasn't really a thing. So I'm ringing up CZW in Sewell, New Jersey to order tapes online over the phone. I remember going, "Is this Zandig?" "Nah, kid. Which tape you want?" And I'm just like, I'll have this one, this one. And then I was like, I remember my parents getting the phone going, "What the fuck?" So,
yeah. That's awesome, dude. That's
oh,
a great
like,
story.
dude, 100%. My parents still fucking hate it. I actually showed my dad the title that I got here, the CZW one. I'm like, that's the company that I was calling when I was 17 to get tapes. He's like, "Oh, okay."
That's awesome.
Yeah. But, you mentioned Chris Hero as being someone, that you really sort of enjoyed watching. And you mentioned Eddie Kingston in there as well, who is probably, pound for pound, probably one of the best performers in the world, if not in the top 5 today, in my opinion. But like when you got into wrestling, did you sit there and sort of go, okay, now when you've been trained in wrestling, you're wrestling on a somewhat regular basis. When you were sitting down and watching wrestling, was it hard to sit there and watch it as a fan, knowing obviously the ins and outs, and obviously when someone is like in the misstep or something like that a fan wouldn't pick up, but someone who's on the performer would?
Yeah. So yeah, becoming a wrestler has ruined wrestling for me a little bit. Because yeah, it's always those little indiscretions where you're like, oh man, I wish he hadn't have done that. Oh, that looks sloppy, or yeah, oh, he's in the wrong positioning or something. So yeah, I've always got that lens on now when I watch wrestling,
Yeah.
especially like local stuff as well. But I'm trying my best to get out of that habit. I don't know if it ever will, but I do
Mm.
want to get out of it. I just want to become a fan again, but I don't know if it'll ever happen where I could just go to a show, sit down, and just enjoy the show without criticizing anyone.
You've just become like the bitter old guy just sitting there and you're going like, "God damn it, kid, you're killing the business."
Oh no, I'm never that guy.
All right.
Business
I
is
could
dead
just
anyway.
I could just imagine old man Ritchie Taylor just sitting there just going, "God damn it."
Yeah. No,
Well,
I don't criticize all that much, but it's yeah, just like little things. And I've criticized myself the most when I watch my matches
yeah.
back, so I try not to do that anymore.
But I think that every performer would be their biggest critic when it comes to being in the ring. You ask many wrestlers what's their best match or their favorite match they've had or their best match they've had, and like a couple of them just go, I haven't had it yet. And like that's what veterans sort of say that I've spoken to, and I'm like, what's your best match? And like, I haven't had it yet. Like there's always, these guys are always saying it's like you're always striving to be better.
Yeah, exactly, man. I think I've peaked. I think I've had my best match though.
So tell us the details, man. Where was it? Who was it with? What was the go?
Oh man, do you know a wrestler called DCT from ICW in Scotland?
DCT?
Yeah,
No,
no.
I don't.
Anyway, he's
Yeah.
he was from ICW in Scotland. He came down for a holiday and got some work down here, and I wrestled him at MCW in a street fight. And dude, by far, that's been my best match. Not even for how I felt in the ring, but just it's the first time I got a standing ovation. So I must have done something right. I was like, okay, I don't think anything's ever going to top this. This is my best match of all time. All good. If I retire today, I'd be a happy man.
What about the match like makes it the best for you? Was it just like you guys just went out there, had a hard hitting, beat the fuck out of each other type of match?
So it was like a build up, like a few months build up of like him coming from Scotland saying he's the hardest bastard, but like always cheating and always doing shit dirty and like beating up my mentor and stuff. And then it was the big build off in the street fight and like nothing went wrong in the match. Everything was awesome. We had the crowd invested. And then when I finally got the win at the end, just the crowd explosion. I never heard anything like that before, especially for me, because I think I suck. So when the crowd just erupted, I was like, fuck, this is awesome. And they gave the standing ovation. I'm like, oh my God. And then I got backstage and like DCT's crying, I'm crying, we're hugging, it was just it
How
was
big
really
was
emotional.
was it a big house?
Yeah, it was sold out house. I think we got about six
Wow.
hundred in there. Yeah. Yeah, it was awesome.
Well,
So
that's a big moment. 500-600 people standing up and giving you that standing ovation. That's huge.
yeah, and something that we worked so hard to build, and like my career pretty much it was taking off, but then that match happened and DCT just elevated me to like the next level. So, he always holds a special place in my heart. That man, he's that did a lot for me.
Yeah, and because you started 2008, was it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
2008, I started
2008.
professionally training, backyarding from 2003, and then
Yeah.
2008 started
Of
professionally
course.
training.
Of course. What was your backyard gimmick?
So I was called Ruthless Ron, and I was like Ronald McDonald, just like an evil clown, just bashing people.
Oh, dude, do you have like gimmick photos of that?
I've got some
I
videos
have
and
to
stuff.
see it.
Yeah, I'll send them to you. Like I used to yard with like Robbie Eagles and stuff, so that's how I know Robbie.
Oh, oh wow.
Yeah,
Oh
man.
wow,
So
that's really cool. Yeah, because
yeah, old school.
Matt Diamond, and
Yeah,
CJ Phoenix were all yarding together.
yeah, that's right. That's how I know all those boys, just through online forums and stuff. And like, it's so weird now. Like, we didn't know these people. It was just online, and we'd chat to them, and then we'd end up going to their houses, like interstate, staying at their houses, and they do the same back here. Like, we didn't know each other. We just met online.
But but you know what? Like that's crazy to think of. Like back in 2003, and just being like, "Hey, mom, like I'm 13 years old. I'm gonna go stay at this random guy's house. I can't show you a photo of him, but yeah, no, he's definitely my age, and we're gonna go and do some backyard wrestling together. Like, and in your mum's mind and dad's mind, going, "What the fuck is this? Like, what's he getting himself into?"
Yeah, legit, man. It was good times though. It's like some of the best times of my life.
What did your family think of the backyard wrestling though? Because like did they know about it at the time, or were they just like against wrestling as a whole, and this was just something that they were against?
No, I don't think they knew how seriously we were taking it. When like we'd have hard rubbish collection and we'd go like grab a few mattresses from the hard rubbish and put them in a paddock somewhere and we'd just do moves on each other. So they just thought we were just, kids mucking about. But then we started to get more serious and build build bases and stuff and take it a little bit more serious. And then that's when they thought we shouldn't do it because it was dangerous. So we were using like tacks and light tubes and doing all this stupid shit. So they weren't too happy with it. But at the same time, we were going to do it regardless whether they liked it or not. You know, it's just the way the western suburbs are in Melbourne. You know, we're just going to do it. It doesn't matter.
Same as the western suburbs in Sydney, bro, where I grew up. It's, you know, like, you know, light tubes and thumbtacks though, like, you know, that is like, you know, I think that, but that's the thing, that time of what indie wrestling was, you know, deathmatch wrestling in particular was huge, bro. Like, you know, I'm trying to think, I was probably early 20s in 2003, and that was like, I was pursuing only indie wrestling. I couldn't get enough of it. And I think the deathmatch scene as well was just like, whoa, what, like, yeah, I mean, people sort of just like, it shocked people.
Yeah, exactly, man. And like we were able to do like the first deathmatch tournament. It was like in the backyard. It's called Tournament of Hate. If you want to go check it out, look it up. We're all on there. And there was some crazy shit, man. I look back at that and I'm like, how did someone not die? It's like, seriously, some crazy bumps, man.
I think Joel told me about Tournament of Hate. Like he
Yeah,
mentioned, he mentioned something about that tournament. So it's like infamous. I have to go and find it now.
yeah, you have to, man. I think we did 4 of them, 4 Tournament of Hates. So go check
Yeah,
them out.
right.
The original one's the best.
So, like, obviously, you know, starting, you know, in doing backyard wrestling and doing the sort of, you know, extreme sort of stuff early on, you know, when you sort of did that transition from, you know, doing like backyarding to going into professional training and proper training for it, what was the feeling with you going in? Like, did you like go, holy shit, this is like, you know, completely different and not what I expected?
Yes and no. I'd had friends who had trained beforehand, and they'd kind of clued me on and clued me up. Yeah, yes, we were, Robbie. We were the biggest things in Werribee. You know it. Uh, yeah. So yes and no. It was a lot of uh, fuck. I'm having an old man moment. I don't know where I was going. What were we talking about?
Transitioning from being a yarder into
Sorry.
the pros, yeah.
Yeah. So like I had all the bumps and stuff down pat essentially because we were like trained semi-what by some guy that used to train, but like going to an actual proper school, it was more intense. And my trainer, Mike Burr, he was very old school and had the mindset of like, we're gonna break these kids. And if they come back, then we know that they want it, like that sort of mentality. So he beat the shit out of us for weeks, man. And killed us, man. It was pretty brutal. But like if it wasn't for that training, there's no chance that I'd be the wrestler I am today. There's just no way. Like so that you know, dip my toes in the water of strong style and stuff and knowing what to expect by like older veterans in the industry. But overall it was pretty good. Like I think I adapted pretty quickly.
And did like with that, did you like go in there and being like, hey man, I've been a yarder for years, or were you, like, did you try and sort of like hide that going in?
Yeah, I was told to hide it because the pros don't like backyard wrestlers. Even though all the best professional wrestlers have been yarders, but whatever. Yeah, it's I did try and hide it at first, and then it just came out because they're like, you've never trained before, but you know how to do all the bumps. Like you must have done some sort of training before. And then I was like, well, I've done yarding for a little bit. I didn't say how long, but yeah, I just said I did backyard wrestling for a while, and that's it.
But still, even then, to be going in and being able to, you know, be able to bump, you know, being a yarder like wrestler, like you never really taught to bump. It's just sort of figuring it out as you went along.
Yeah, that's it. But yeah, like I said before, like a couple of the guys had been semi-trained, so they'd sort of teach us how to properly break fall and
Yeah,
front
right.
bump and all that sort of shit. So I knew the very minimal basics of like the bumping system of pro wrestling. But it's like all the other stuff, like locking up, I had no idea was shit house, and like the chain reversals and how to hold people in holds to make it look real and stuff. So a lot of that was brand new, but that was awesome because that's the stuff I wanted to learn because I love chain wrestling.
But what about like so once you got into training and you had the shit beaten out of you for a few weeks, I think everyone who I've spoken to who's been in the business for a period of time has one of those stories where it's like you go there, you get the shit kicked out of you. And a lot of it's to learn to respect the business. I think probably a lot of people go into it going, oh yeah, it's I'm sure it's easy. I can go in there, I'll be able to bump on the first day, and in a week from now I'll be main eventing cards, and you know what I mean? Like I'm sure there's a lot of misbelief in a lot of people that try and come through the doors.
Yeah, definitely, dude. I can't really speak for many other people, but I I came in with the notion that I was going to be on shows straight away. Like I was 18, man. Like I don't know anything. I'm a kid. So I come in being like, yeah, oh, this will be easy, just bump whatever, and then I'll be on shows, and that just wasn't
Yeah.
the case. Like Mike Burr was like, stand in the corner, hold on to the top rope, and don't flinch. I was like, oh, okay. So I'm holding onto the top rope, and he's just like forearm chop, and we just had to
Oh.
hold it. It was like, 2 minutes. We just had to hold it, man. Like, just is what it is. It was just to find out who had it, like who wanted to be a pro wrestler.
Who wanted it bad enough to go through
Exactly.
it and to get there. And as you said, it had made you the worker that you are today, that and the performer that you are today, and that speaks wonders for the trainer and for your respect towards him as well.
Yeah, definitely. I love Mike. I've got nothing but good things to say about Mike Burr. I wish he had stayed around a little longer, but it's the way of the game,
Oh, 100%. But how long into your training before you got an opportunity to jump on shows?
So it was still relatively early. Not the first one, but it was maybe the third show they did. So maybe 6 months. 6 months they really fine tuned, but that was me training a lot. I was there every second day on the weekends, doing what I had to do to get ready to be on the show. So I think it was like 3 months, and then I was on my first show, and
What was
that was
it like?
scary.
Was it very planned? Like, was the match very planned and well set out before, or were you going in there in that first match against someone who'd been a veteran and been around that could sort of guide you through it?
Yeah, so it was a four-way. So it was me, my brother, Mike Burr, and Adam Gambino in a four-way, and the two veterans, Adam and Mike, they took control of the match and told us what we were going to do here, what we're going to do there, how to structure the match. And to be honest, like I knew how to remember spots semi-watt from like yarding and stuff. So I didn't get lost or anything, and they just spoke to us out there. They looked after us, and the match was, from what I can remember, pretty good for a first match.
Yeah. And after that first match, was it off to the races?
Yeah, it was. I was consistently booked there on them shows for a while. Then I worked a couple of other little places. Um, I have a funny story. We got booked on Warzone, me and my brother, in a dark match. Okay, and Warzone at the time was like pretty big here in Melbourne, and um, we got booked in a dark match. And me and my brother, look, we didn't really know what a dark match was, and we didn't know what we had to do. So, fuck, man, we burnt the card. Horrible, man. We went out there, we did everything, absolutely everything, man.
You got your shit in, right?
100%. We both got our shit in. It was like a 6-7 minute match. The ref's like, fuck, you got to go home. You've done everything. And we're like, no, in a minute. We'll just keep doing our
After
shit.
the pole driver off the top rope, bro.
You're not far off, dude. You're not far off. Anyway, I get backstage, and Mike Burr and this other trainer of ours, they come up to us like, look, man, that was really good, but all the other boys are pissed. I'm like, what? Why? Like, why? What happened?
Now they've got to match the fucking duck.
Yeah, they're like, oh, dude, you guys have just burnt the card. Our trainer was like, look, I should have told you what to expect because we know you guys want to just go out and do everything. So it's on us a little bit, but yeah, just they pretty much said without saying it, just go sit in the corner somewhere. Just out of everyone's way because everyone's in the shits with you.
So, like, you guys got like a fair bit of legit heat out of it.
Yeah, we did. And we're just
Any of the
kids. We
boys or
didn't know.
any of the boys or girls come up and have a crack? Like, what the fuck?
No, they didn't. Like, I think backstage they would have been like, "What the fuck?" But then Mike Burr would have been like, "Oh, I'll talk to them when they come back through the curtain." So, yeah, they just came back and Mike just told us, "Man, you can't do that again on a dark match." You're like, that's a main event style match you've had in 6 minutes.
But that's the thing. Like, everyone on that card would have they would have been pissed at first, but then they'd stop and go, well, if we were young, getting in the business and been given an opportunity and said, "Hey, go out there and have a 6-minute match," no, we're going to go out there and just fucking do some you know what I mean? Like, I think anyone new in the business would have been in that same situation of just like, fuck it, let's go balls to the wall. And,
Yeah, exactly, man. And we weren't told anything. We weren't briefed. Like, no one told us what to do. They just said, go out and have a 6-minute match. All right. That's what you're going to
get. But I think, after that, was that sort of like a learning curve for you of like, how the wrestling business works, not just like how to perform in the ring or like how to walk to the ring or cut a promo or be a character, but I don't want to say politics, but the sort of behind the scenes, because everybody knows the unwritten rules of wrestling and that sort of thing. Was that the moment for you when, okay, now we got to sort of pay a bit more attention to this sort of stuff, understand this sort of stuff, how we act, our behavior around other workers, how to conduct ourselves in the backstage environment?
Yeah, for sure, man. That was, definitely an eye opener. Just knowing your place on the card. And I think a lot of people, even now, these days, like there's a million false finishes in the first 2 matches. Fuck, guys, just ease up a little bit. Just know your place on the card. You can still have an awesome match, but there's no need for 15 falsies in the first opener. So, yeah, it was a little bit eye-opening. It still took me a little while though, because I was pretty annoyed because I was like, what the fuck? Why am I getting so much heat for no reason? I didn't know. I'm a kid. So I was a little bit annoyed, but yeah, it took me a little while to finally get there and be like, no, this is how the show runs to make everyone look good. It's not just about you. It's about the show as a whole and everyone else involved. You mean fuck all in the show, in the scheme of things, Don't worry about yourself, but yeah, just work around other people.
But that's what I like about the Aussie wrestling scene, because you hear so much and I hear, obviously being opportunity in the company that I keep with certain people, that hearing stories about how the business works in the States, even on the indie level over there, and then hearing how it operates here in Australia is like night and day. It's like, I think that Australian laid back attitude in the wrestling business is really doing wonders, because you see, like, from cards, whether it be in Sydney, Melbourne, Perth, Adelaide, there's amazing wrestling shows being put on, and everyone that I've spoken to in the wrestling scene has the same sentiment. Is like, we're all working to make each other better. We're all working to make this better, this promotion better, this product better, what we're doing here in Australia. You know what I mean? Like, there's never any sort of, and I'm sure there may be from time to time, but there's never any sort of like backstage political bullshit that you've heard from years prior in the wrestling business.
Yeah, no, you're right, man. And that's a good thing. I'm sure, previously, maybe like, I don't know, 8 years ago, it was more like that. But now everyone, has like a consensus that we're all in this together. Let's make Australian wrestling boom. Let's get people talking about Aussie wrestling like they do, like the American indies and stuff. So yeah, we're all just trying to make it good. We're all trying to make it better. And I think it shows, like you said, like all the shows around the country now, whether you go, Perth, Adelaide, Melbourne, Queensland, there's quality shows everywhere you go, which is awesome. And, it's a little sad because, I'm probably going to be retiring soon. And, there's all these awesome places opening up, all these awesome talent just popping up all over the place. So, it's good that we're all in this together.
So you mentioned retiring soon. How long do you see yourself still in the business? Like, everyone talks about their famous bump card and how many bumps that the body has left in it, but how many years or months do you see yourself still doing it?
Look, I want to say until next year, like the end of next year, if I can. But we're just gonna play it by ear, man. I'm just gonna see how I'm feeling at the end of this year, and hopefully I can go a little bit longer. But if not, man, like it's been a hell of a ride. It's had its ups and downs like a roller coaster, man. But um, I've done everything that I've wanted to do. I've just wanted to be the best performer I can be and be semi-successful in this country, and I think I've done that now. So if I decide to hang the boots up at the end of the year, like I'm proud of the things I've accomplished in this industry.
Yeah, oh, dude, I think you definitely should be, and I think you're saying within next year being in retirement. Is that because of injuries? Like 13 years in the business is a long, long time.
Yeah, so I've had a few injuries happen here or there, and yeah, it's just the body's just not what it used to be, man. Like I'm pulling up, sore. I'm stiff everywhere. I'm sore all the time, man. Like I'm just sore constantly. So, but that's the name of the game, I love it, and I will keep doing it until my body just says no more, man. You gotta stop.
Would you still remain, in the business and involved in some capacity, or do you think that you would just be like, nah, rip it off like a band-aid and just sort of get out for a period of time and then
It's a
maybe
great,
come back?
it's a great question, man, because I do get asked this a lot. I don't think I want to be involved in any backstage or management or agenting or anything. Like I said at the start of the show, I'd prefer just to have a break and then come back as a fan and just, you know, either someone gets me in for free or I have to pay for a ticket and I'll just sit in the crowd and I'll just watch wrestling again as a fan.
Yeah, and I think as well, like that would probably put the spark back in you as well by taking that break and then watching it again. I think once a wrestling fan, you're always a wrestling fan. Like I don't think anyone ever stops being a wrestling fan in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, you're right. 100%.
Yeah. And like with that, and injury and what you've gone through over 13 years, what is the one thing that you'd like to leave as your legacy on Australian wrestling or the pro wrestling world for that matter?
Fire up, man. That's a good question. I don't know, man. I just want people to be more kind to each other, dude. That's it. I just help each other out a little more, and that's all, man. And like, yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty simple, man. I just want people to be kind to one another and just help other people grow and stop being so selfish and encourage one another instead of criticizing them all the time. And I hope some of my positive attitudes around locker rooms and stuff, leave, leaves something there. Like, oh yeah, Ritchie was cool. He was always positive about certain things, but yeah, I don't know, man. Just be kind.
But that's the same thing. Like I was speaking to Jay on Tuesday night, and he said the same thing. It's like our shows are simple: just turn up, have fun, don't be a dick, and just it's go home and watch more wrestling. Like, like it's not hard. Like what we're trying to tell people to do, and I think that's what probably like the wrestling world needs. I think a lot of the fans to sort of realize that as well. Like I've been to a lot of shows over the last 6-7 months, and some of the chants I hear from some of the crowds, I'm just like, dude, that's not a chant. That's just you heckling to a certain point. And I think that sort of stuff is sort of like I've seen it here and there, and I think it sort of polices itself in the audience. I think people sort of just realizing, yeah, no, you're a dick, mate, shut the fuck up, and they settle down. But have you noticed that yourself? Like with some audiences, there's fans that go there, and some of the things they yell out is more of a heckle than a chant or a, you know what I mean, like or a cheer or a taunt.
Yeah, no, I have noticed that a few times. Yeah, like even on the weekend, there was just like I wrestled my last show at MCW on the weekend, and like there's one guy just heckling me the whole time. I'm like, I'm the baby face, and like he's just like saying I'm shit, you should die, like just all this random shit. And I'm like, the
Like
fuck,
die, like
dude?
die, Rocky, die, Richie, die.
Legit, man. I was like, what the fuck, dude? Anyway, yeah.
If
Yeah,
you
and
were
like
heel, that would have been perfect heat, though.
100%, 100%. I wasn't happy about it. I was furious. I told him not very nice words, man. Like, yeah. And then yeah, like I hear like little chants here and there, especially for like casual fans that come in that don't understand what's going on, and there'll be like inappropriate things said or whatever. But I definitely don't condone it, and someone needs to educate these people on them. Like, I don't think we should ream down their throats straight away. I just think people need to be educated on what's like more appropriate and what's not. We all make mistakes. We all fuck up.
And I think that as well. Like sometimes people, when they get a few drinks in them as well, they think some things are funny when they're just hurtful or just not needed for that situation. And I think that can be a contributing factor. But I think the majority of fans that are shows, and well, the shows I go to, are very respectful for
Yeah,
the product that they're watching. And
yeah,
I can only speak for the
100%.
Sydney side of things, though.
No, yeah, 100%. Same as Melbourne, but you've got those few fans occasionally that'll do something shit. But yeah, just needs to be addressed, and people just need to be educated, man. That's all.
100%, 100%. And talking, about cards and matches. You've got a match coming up on the 21st against Rochelle Rogue. Now that is your first match, or the opening match for both of you in the DMDU heavyweight tournament. Rochelle Rogue, amazing talent, like absolutely amazing performer. And looking at this card, like it is stacked. Like anyone in this tournament could be crowned the champion and be a legit, asset to the company as the champion.
Yeah, definitely, man. Really sorry, man. Really looking forward to wrestling her. I've met her a few times when I've wrestled down Suplex, and like I've like trained her once or twice when I was down there as well. And yeah, it's going to be awesome to be able to get in the ring with her. But yeah, the card is fucking stacked, dude. So much good talent on there. Look, if I had to pick a winner, and I couldn't pick myself, obviously, I'd have to go my vegan sister, Charlie Evans, man. Like, fuck, that's huge. So my money is on her if I don't get through to the finals, obviously.
Yeah, and that's another person like Charlie Evans, traveling from all around the world, now coming back to Australia and applying the craft, and seeing her live like wrestling is like she's that damn good. Like she's amazing in that ring. As I said at the top of the show, man, I honestly believe that my pick for the winner would be you. I think that it would be a good decision to have. I think as the veteran, as the inaugural champion. But regardless, I think anyone who wins that belt, I'm not going to be disappointed by anyone winning it. But my pick is definitely Smash Mouth Ritchie Taylor.
Oh, no, thanks, man. I appreciate that. Hopefully,
So I just you got my PayPal, right? Like it's just Piers. No.
Yeah, I'll send it to you after the show.
Yeah.
No, thanks for that, man. I appreciate that.
No, all good, dude. I just honestly believe, I think as far as like overall performer, you have everything together, and I think a lot of the guys do. But I just think your style, it suits that sort of tournament. I think tournament style. But like I said, we'll find out in May 21st. Who'll be the champ.
That's right, man. Hopefully, it is me, man. And then you
That's
better hit
it.
me back up or come back on the show.
Bro, absolutely, just absolutely, bro. Only if you wear the belt, bro. Like you just have it over you the whole,
The whole time, I will.
turn heel, win the belt, turn heel, bro. Like Survivor Series 98, bro.
Yeah, that's it.
Do full rock.
Imagine that.
Yeah, instead of Ritchie Taylor, just call yourself the Ritchie.
The rich, that's it.
It could work, but who are you most like? Obviously, facing Rochelle Rogue, amazing talent. Who else in that tournament would you like to face if you have the opportunity in the tournament too?
That's tough, man. That is tough. Like, obviously, Charlie Evans, just because we actually did wrestle. No, the footage didn't get released, but we actually wrestled like a small
I heard about that show.
book launch. Yeah.
I heard that match was like just unbelievable.
I really enjoyed the match. I did really enjoy the match. She's an amazing performer and amazing wrestler, and actually, just amazing person altogether. So I would really like to wrestle Charlie again. Ugg, I want to wrestle Ugg again. Candy Lee. I just want to wrestle everyone. I don't care. I just want to wrestle anyone and everyone.
Maybe scrap the tournament and just have like Royal Rumble.
Yeah, why not?
Crazier shits happen, man. Crazier shits happen. I think it would be, but I think the tournament is definitely going to set a precedent. I think it's going to be the wrestling event of the year in Australia. I think it's Deathmatch Down Under. You guys have hit the ground running. For a new company to come in and have the talent that they've been able to bring in to really taking the wrestling world by storm. And I was saying this to Jay, I've got friends in the US that message me saying, dude, this Deathmatch Down Under is like fucking on like the next level. Like this is up there with GCW, which is like probably the biggest independent in the States.
Oh shit, man, that's awesome to hear. I'm really honored to be a part of the company. As soon as Joel and Jay hit me up and was like, "Oh, we want you to work for us," I was like, "I'm in." Like, I've known Joel a long time, love that man, and and it's just for them to put their trust in me as well for being the opening match of DMDU. It was something special. I didn't want to let them down. And from what I hear, I didn't. There was a lot of things on Twitter going around about that match, so that was
Dude.
awesome. And yeah, so that was that. So I'm really honored to be a part of it.
Dude, I had Tommy Knight on the other night, and I told him that was like, the first match of DMDU, and like I sat and I was like, holy fuck, this is like I was like, and as I said to you before, I'm always skeptical of like a big man little man match because like sometimes like if it's not done right, it's really bad, but when it's done right, it's absolutely amazing. And you guys really just put on an amazing match. That the size of it and the speed and the striking of yourself, the match just meshed really well. And the story that you guys told was just, amazing. Amazing.
Yeah, thanks.
Amazing first match to open a company and open a card like that. Just awesome.
Oh, thanks, man. I really appreciate it. That's really nice. That's like what I like the most when like the fans just say good match. I don't really care for titles or all these awards or whatever, but when like the fans come up to me and just say, dude, that was an awesome match, that's the most rewarding for me.
And that's the thing, a good wrestler that's over doesn't need a title. You know what I mean? Like the title, I think a lot of times elevates the performer. And I think that you look at some performers over the years that just don't need titles because they're already that level of over with the audience.
Yeah, definitely, dude. No, but yeah, thanks again for your kind words, man.
No, absolutely, man. Absolutely. But look, we are getting close to wrapping it up here. So we are going to go into 60 seconds with Piers. Ritchie, you've been told about this game. It's nothing weird, nothing creepy, but basically how it's going to go to anyone new watching. I'm going to fire random questions at Ritchie for 60 seconds. Ritchie, when you're ready to go, give me the signal. We'll get this thing started.
Let's go, brother.
What sport did you play as a kid?
AFL.
Snapchat or TikTok?
Snapchat.
Who has to go? Game of Thrones, Lord of Rings, or Harry Potter?
Oh, Game of Thrones. Oh.
In 5 minutes, you were being shipped out to outer space. What two personal belongings do you take with you?
Oh my god, my dog and a jar of peanut butter.
Oh, okay. Aussie rules or NFL? I can't get it.
Can we cut that? That sounded so
fun. Plain fairy bread or fairy bread with Nutella? Oh, you're vegan, bread. So yeah, okay.
Fairy bread.
What would your autobiography be called?
A boy from the western suburbs.
If you came with a warning label, what would it be?
Ranger, warning, Ranger.
And that's it. Time. Firstly, dog in a jar of peanut butter.
I
Bro,
met.
I'm gonna take back it putting you over so much on this fucking show. Richie Jam, son. I'm kidding.
I just, I don't know. My dog's right here, so it's like my dog, and I love peanut butter so much. So I'm like, oh, peanut
It
butter,
just
and
sounded
then put
wrong,
them
bro.
together. Yeah, you put them together, it doesn't sound good.
Oh, it is what it is, man. But
Oh
Richie,
man.
you know what? It's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show, bro. I really want to get you on the show again. You know, to do this again, man. I feel like we could go on for another couple of hours. But Richie, you know, where can everyone find you on social media? Where can people support you, buy some of your merch?
Yeah, for sure, man. So just hit me up on Instagram at Ritchie Vegging Out, and I've got a Facebook page, Ritchie Taylor Pro Wrestler. And if you want any merch, just send me a DM, and I'll just fucking flick it over to you. So that's how you can get my merch.
That's it, guys. Look, thank you very much, Richie, for being a guest on Shooting the Shit Uncensored with myself, Piers Austin. Guys, thank you very much. If you are watching this on Twitch, do us a favor, hit that subscribe button. Every little bit helps to help us keep the lights on, to help this channel keep growing so we can bring you more and more amazing content like we do week in and week out. This week especially, we've got 10 shows that we've been putting out. There's 6 interviews that I've been doing, plus the 4 shows, Killing the Business, Get Funked, and Knights of the Gimmick Table, guys. So we are on a whole nother level here. We are the premium pro wrestling content provider in the world. Wherever you want to go, you come here for all your wrestling content. MWA Podcast Network. But Richie, thank you so much for being a guest, man. It's been an absolute pleasure. Everyone watching, thank you so much for tuning in. Do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And Richie, best of luck in the tournament on May 21st and May 22nd on the double header shows for DMDU. And man, love to get you back on again soon, bro.
Yeah, for sure. Anytime. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Thanks for everyone watching.
All good. Take it easy, guys. And we'll catch you tomorrow night at 9 p.m. I'm going to be joined by Aaron Dick, one of the management team from DMDU. So make sure you tune in live. And yeah, we'll see you then. Peace.